me. But I mean, I think this is going to be like a really close to a slugfest here. As we're jumping into game, we're already midway through the pistol round. We'll have to say peace out to Pop. Appreciate you for guiding us through. There you go. And we're heading straight into a B-Pop here. Tea time. Monte leading off a Mirage.
Essentials unable to find the first few shots. Second one in from short as Alex, and he's been taken down, traded very quickly. Bomb can be planted. And Bait were going for more of a retake setup on B, but they were hoping that their short player could be able to find more or stay alive, one or the other. Neither will be the case. Monte will be receding back to the apartments as well, and without really much of a pressure of a flank or a prong from short coming in, Bait's going to be finding very little success with it unless they can just hit the shots. Demka and Stiko preventing that from happening, but NPL and Essential good in the trade. Stiko last alive now with the smoke down and the kit ready. Essential's not got much to work with, and he's going to have a shank attack. Money for Stiko and round for Monte.
Yeah, that's going to be a really nice attempt at the retake there for Bait. They got the kills so darn quickly. It's just Stiko's, ahead of the pack positioning there, up and towards the apartments. I see a lot of teams sometimes just give up that position. They step down onto the site. They try to take that deeper control, fight out towards that market door, fight out towards E-Box. But just playing the win condition, simply said here for Stiko, is going to pay dividends. Also, what a shot out of Waro to break out, take down Alex right then and there. We got a force buyback though, and I think Bait, certainly a capable team. They've got some of the strongest individuals and the mechanics here at this level.
I think I'm looking forward to really seeing NPL. Obviously, one of our highlighted players was Headtrick, but NPL has just been such a menace recently on the rifle. Obviously, not quite near Monte being the GOAT player of CS2 and everything. Yes, that's my angle, not really commonly accepted. Probably number one right now, but regardless, NPL could also be one of those other ones who got away from Na'Vi, right? If he's able to develop a little bit more, it's all about those timings and everything. As much as we have praised Na'Vi for their talent development system, NPL seems like one who might have actually slipped the net, and let's see whether or not he can actually turn himself into a player who makes him regret that. Monte for now, though, time's running low, and Bait's got quite a bit of forward-facing map control. Captain Kurt starts off strong. Good for the one. Traded out, though, and Demka shuts him down. Bomb's been seen, though, and B8 can start moving back to the A side. That's what Krastel is waiting for. Cuts off the rotate, picks up one with a Mac 10, and now NPL will be called to task.
Oh, he's going to get immediately headshotted. But the MP9s actually do follow up. Alex cleans up the lurk, and Krasnell is also caught out. Suddenly, it's a 2 versus 2. Demka as well, 30 HP inside of Palace. The question is, has he been seen? That is the massive difference maker here. That question mark could play a huge role in this post plant, while Haji is just waving his hands around, and he's going to be able to get a kill. He's not just a distraction, he's the real deal, and joined together with Demka, Monte will dodge a bullet.
Frankly, some pretty decent damage being dealt over here, but that's always the problem, that it feels like more and more on the CT side, we can't really credit damage from force buys in the second round anymore. That's one of the reasons why CTs have started leaning into just full ecoing there. So now what you're really relying on building up from the previous round is more investment over here. So you can see a couple of 5.7s, Deagles and whatnot coming out, but that also means Hetrick won't have the AWP. You're going to be slightly lower in utility than what you might ideally like. So, yeah. This is the round where if you don't get 3 kills, well, your gun versus gun is going to be actually pretty substantially hampered.
Oh, it already spotted out there. This could be in some trouble. I'm looking at this like little double top con setup. Bait are trying to punish certain mistakes. Missing protocols here and there. Maybe you get a little bit reckless with the Mac 10. At least that's in their heads. There is no Mac 10 in the server here for Monte, but there's no top con smoke, and then that double setup actually does strike on through. Maybe another. MPL so darn close. An excellent punish, maybe a read. Oh, nearly punished there by Headtrick as well. We're still in a 2 versus 2. We are still neck and neck, and the bomb is down bottom con.
All in the meanwhile, flanks being set up as well, and it all comes down to what Essential can get done over here. He spots out the heads. I don't think he registered. It might have been an X-ray thing on our side, but Alex can take a peek soon as well. The question is, does Monte want to start going back to the B-bomb side? Both the players who are alive are the B-side players, so If that's what the read is going to be for Monte, they might not realize that Essential is actually breathing down their neck. He is cosplaying a T sign, and he's done a damn good job of it. Alex forced away. No longer will have the ability to peek anymore. He's getting worried about a flank to be set up, but with 25 seconds, Monte are really making their bed and might be put to sleep in it.
Yeah, there's about to be an alarm clock ringing right next to that bed because Essential inside of Sandwich and Demka out in the open. It's a perfect strike here. And by virtue of...
What?
A disconnect in the 2 versus 2? You gotta be kidding me.
That's really unfortunate over there. You could see the...
Oh my.
fact that Stiko was just playing the way he was also probably attributed down towards that. Obviously a little bit more chaos and everything as well. Monte won't be feeling happy about that at all. Of course, they lose the first few players over there regardless, right? That's fair is fair. BA do put themselves in a winning position and do reposition very nicely, but at the end of the day, Monte are obviously going to be feeling slightly aggrieved.
Man, I mean, that's also just a very tough round, but you gotta wonder, Bait honestly had the perfect setup. Monte did not put in a top connector smoke. And with 2 players top con, Bait probably had an inkling or an idea of what Monte liked to do on these kind of rounds. If they try to blast up connector, 2 players on either side of connector with a perfect double swing, you know, it could have even been like a 3-for-1 in that situation. Fortunately, Monte were actually able to trade everything back, but that could have been an even better round for Bait, all things said.
Tough time for sure over there for Monte. And regardless of the disconnect or not, it did feel like Bait could have actually gotten away with that round as well. So at least it's not the most egregious thing in the world, even if it will be slightly tilting, right?
Yeah, if Demka losing the bomb at 10 seconds, right? That's definitely round over at that point, no matter what. And Essential's position is just simply too good in the minds there.
This is my issue with Essential, right? His name makes me think of the word essential, but just with a lisp. And every single time in my head, I'm trying to figure out how would I pronounce that. And sometimes we see these players who come through and they've got names that are kind of weird to pronounce and everything. And right, you're like DemQQ is probably, but you figure it out. You're going along. Essential's just got one of those names that every single time I see it, I'm like, Essential? Essential?
I think I just make the H silent, but okay. Also not like the word essential as well, because essential has 2 S's. I gotta make sure that I know my own language.
It's ESS,
yes. Yeah. We gotta make sure, because
it's okay. You don't have to pass an exam for it, right? We do, so that's a difference.
It's my first language and my only language, guys. I'm gonna be in some trouble.
Fine, you're from the northeast of Americas, right?
Yes.
What's the worst name that you've seen for pronunciation in your come up?
In North American Counter-Strike. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's a guy whose name is just called like Ben Lee, which I mean,
well,
I think
that's easy enough, right? Ben 1337. Yeah.
I mean, it's
because
like, but yeah, go on.
For me personally, when I initially started, like right in the beginning, back in like 2015 or so, 16, not 15. I once casted Cutler on CLG, and I don't know if you were following CS back then or not.
I was.
Cutler was one of those North American players who used to write his name backwards. And poor little me, second language English, coming into Counter-Strike fresh as a caster for Open IP game, is like, Rattler coming in over here.
Rel 2C, let's go.
Yeah.
Or Naughty.
Well, see, Naughty at least sounded like, this guy's nutty, right? Like, you know, it sort of made sense. So for Ethan, at the very least, it was more understandable. But for Cutler, it's just like, why? Why are you doing this to me? Is this you guys' ways of making sure your jobs stay in America, right? Just make your names as confusing as possible so I can't say it? God, you Americans are all the smart ones.
As of late, yeah, there's Truck Lover 86, which is definitely like the most legendary name here in North American Counter-Strike, but I don't think that's not necessarily hard to pronounce. It's just Truck Lover 86. He's just a guy who likes trucks. There is one. There is one that is very weird.
Why don't we hold that one off for the next tech time out in case we have another one? Because that way we can create some suspense as well for the viewers. Ooh, what's it going to be? But what's it going to be coming up from Monte, who have to come through on the force by themselves? They need to find some success in a similar way as Bait did.
Yeah, let's see what they got in the tank. They've got barely any utility. They don't really have the gas for a very slow round. You can't really work the map control here with a single smoke and a flash. So they're going to look for some extra positioning and probably just hit the go button somewhere. Hope that Bait overstep. And you know what? It is Bait. There is a little bit of hope in that kind of game plan. You might not have any utility, but there could be possible overextension.
Looks like they're going to be reconvening for an A-sided hit, and Bait are having none of it with the aggressive position that they have in apartments. There's no reason for them to believe into it. Essential will end up backing off once the smoke finishes, though, and with that, Alex will have to provide a bit more reinforcement. There is a window where you get an isolated duel versus Captain Kurtka, but he's being diligent on the jump spots.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem here. And they only got one smoke. It's going in towards Top Con. It's not bad, but then there are 3 players about to triangulate the site, and there's nothing to knock off this Hedrick op. It's about to feast here on the cross, but it misses right there. And it misses a second opportunity. Now it actually comes down to Captain Kurtka, and he does deliver with a triple. Nearly the quad. The ammunition holds him at bay, and it tosses Hadji here into a 1 versus 3 clutch, and they know where he is. They're going to start swinging him, and he gets run down. Bait come through. It's a little awkward. They do let the bomb go down, but as long as they take down the force by, it don't matter much of that.
Again, the lack of the flashes were there to actually try and fight with Captain Kurtka are just so visible. You move past the first hurdle, which is Hedrick and his AWP. You trade out versus NPL as well, right? NPL's taken down, but then you can't actually fight into CT. You can't ignore CT either. Those situations just a bit too much to deal with. Monte would have loved to have an extra flashbang and a Tech 9 instead of the Deagle that Krasel obviously went for. That's one of my main criticisms, actually, of EU international teams, and I wouldn't pretend to know enough about NA teams' buying habits for this one, but you do see some unnecessary Deagles come into it rather than the Tech 9 flashes.
Are you kidding me? I know everything about NA, and yeah, of course they're buying Deagles. Have you seen a Nouns game?
I have.
Oh, my goodness.
I have.
It is the epitome of North American Counter-Strike. I love Nouns. It's always good fun. And speaking of these Deagles, I mean, they're still in play. And it's going to hurt the buy a little bit towards the tail end. I'm not sure with the existence of the Tech 9s. Maybe not an armorless Tech 9. You probably don't want that. But I've noticed that the 5.7 is probably one of the silliest weapons in the game. And no way. Okay, Steeko's making a bit of a ruckus towards the A site, and it's just made a Sential an isolated B anchor.
There won't be any flashes coming his way. It is just going to be a train of potential frags to be found, but potential is the key word there. Alex, in the meanwhile, will miss the timing on Stiko actually rotating in as well, so they will not have confirmation about that B-side hit. Essential is trying to find a better angle, trying to find anything to work with. Alex has made his way over. Monte have stalled too long, and Alex now on the rotation finds one. These Deagles cannot strike through. Krasel will fall. The bomb on the ground, and Monte, an opening given to them by Stiko, will amount to naught. Nicely done from Essential and Alex over there.
Yeah, it's interesting to see why they decide to pump the brakes. Obviously, the guys over Monte don't know that it is a solo B-site defender. They don't know what we know, so maybe they're hoping for an extra swing to come through. So I respect the patience. Kind of playing to the unknowns and the win conditions. So maybe that cat player returning right into a face full of lead. But nothing gives. So Monte back onto the full buy. They're first one to truly go about this. We've had a lot of force buys.
You have to be very careful now with that top mid Molotov. Now that it's on the CT side, it's a much more specific amount of steps that you have to throw because it doesn't spread to the back. So Haji's very comfortable in sitting away, and he doesn't need to use his smoke there. Bait might end up regretting that, but the damage of the nade is really good. When you combine that with Alex and NPL both trying to play near that window area, it's going to be tough to actually climb into connector unless you go through the CT smoke.
But Demka looking like he's going to disrespect it on the fade. He's going to go for this challenge.
He's moved past it. It's all about the patience between him and NPL, but NPL spots him out, goes for the stairs spot, and obviously does have the advantage in that situation. Essential in the meanwhile has been able to give a bit more information. Monte, though, are hoping that there will not be an Alex to try and support, but Monte has stalled. Monte might have waited too long. Essential given a chance to reset. Good for one, and Alex has now come over. In the meanwhile, Woro might be finding a kill, but they've dropped the bomb, and now both teams have to drop onto the site as well. Long labored spray, and Alex will find the kill, but Woro left alone. 1-on-2, and HP not really his friend, and frankly, no one else is either. Leaning in, and Hetrix up will cover it off. Bait, take it away.
I mean, I honestly want to give so much credit there to Essential on the site hold. Just getting that initial kill while the rest of his rotates are scrambling is just so impactful. It gives that extra moment for Alex to actually get into position. If he goes down instantly, or even just stops them or makes them hesitate inside of the apartment, Alex doesn't even get a chance to find impact. Really important stuff out of a very underrated player there for Bait. Do have a little bit of a half buy this time around. We've seen some of the force buy where Monte don't really work with the utility. This time around, they can actually put some pressure on different parts of the map and then actually group up for the look that they want. And it seems like as the bomb glides on over, Monte, you're going to call in the rest of the 5 players. You got 2 smokes, but critically, as you were talking about earlier, T-time, there's no flashes. Does Hetrick have a smoke on it with his name on it? If not, well, this might just be a shooting gallery.
Even if they smoke off CT, Hetrick's a grenade. That's a big problem. And this time you've got a player actually playing up close to Palace, so you're not as worried about that Palace push of coming through. Hetrick can take many more liberties trying to get onto ticket and everything as well in the mid round. Nice deep nade forward though, does remove the but gives him information. Nice shot onto Haji. Haji's taken down. Repeat though is punished. Woro can take him away, and Captain Kurt, looking to trade, will instead face the wrath of Woro, who continues forward. This double smoke on the left side has isolated the duel, sure, but the damage is too much. Krasnell has moved past the smoke and found the timing to maybe flank out the CTs, but the bomb could not be planted, and with that, Krasnell is all alone. A 1-on-2 with nothing to do. 10 seconds, and he's off to the wins and saving this M4.
Yeah, it's super close there again. That insane trade onto Hetrick to break open the site, and Captain Kirka not good for a single kill. 135 damage, 0 kills. But the cleanup crew from CT spawn. Essential is just such a confident player, honestly. I really don't know how... Every time I cast this Bait team, he always finds ways to step up, and he really just locked in, put his head down, and just charged forward to stop the plant and lock in the round there for Bait. Sometimes you need someone to get their hands dirty, and Essential has been actually just keeping it clean here. 9-3 start for him.
Also do quite appreciate what Hetrick does with it, just trying to pop open the grenade towards the very end, sorry, the smoke towards the very end of it. That's obviously when you will see these low buys actually make contact in. Puts Monte in a position where they feel like they have to jump the gun and everything as well. Bait are really exploiting the fact that Monte are a newer team which aren't going to have all of these fully perfect protocols put into place just yet.
Yeah, and also I just think just in general, the way LMBT builds his teams is just a little bit looser. They have their defaults, but they also allow a lot more player agency to make the moves. Obviously, Stiko and Haji, much different. So this Monte team still looking for its identity. And, well, its identity's looking pretty good right now. These two entries, as Waro and Seiko fly out from the woodworks and are out of ammunition, everyone goes down. The mid collapse there from Bait goes horribly wrong.
It's very important for Headford to save his AWP over here. The money is not good for Bait, but saving is just not going to be an option. Krasl comes in from the side and shuts him down. Great mid-contact does come in, but I have to say, Alex, what is going on with his spray right now? It looked like there could have been 2 kills with his name on him. Unfortunately, neither one of them actually being properly capitalized upon. And some great shots from Waro and company and actually hit to try and get those entries in. Monte find themselves a third and actually put themselves in a position where Bait could have their money reset as well.
Yeah, it's a tiny bit of disconnect between those two connector players. They kind of take their own individual fights, and they both falter instead of kind of working off of each other's attention for the most part. Like, Bait, very capable individuals, and I understand the need that, okay, we have an isolated 1 versus 1. Let's give it to them. But right now, it's starting to see a little bit of struggles here as opening pick simple there, and it's going to go right into this A-side execute.
NPL needs to try and get himself at least 1 kill over there, but the MP9 finds nothing, and Alex once again not in a position to get a double. With that, you're immediately back to saving on the Bait side. Alex himself could have actually made an argument to just move back there. It's an interesting thing to see Captain Kurt and NPL go for independent aggressions into A main. Obviously, both of them aren't necessarily coming out with the best weapons, right? So you're thinking, well, gotta make do with what I have, but also at the same time, you know, a double swing with a flashbang, anything like that, trying to react, trying to pair it up with a couple of those nades that they threw out early on anyway, so that Captain Kurt could maybe have a weakened player. Did feel like Bait went slightly haphazardly into that A main control, and that's not necessarily how I would characterize them. Monte doing some good damage.
Yeah, they've been consistently able to hunt the vast majority of these saves, too. I think this time they will, I say, temper themselves. Terrorists win. Zico is hoping for a freebie. But a really nice spread default from Monte in these type of rounds. They're not necessarily a team that calls crazy amount off of spawn. And then just a follow-up headshot there from Krasnell is perfect.
Waro, you mentioned that Waro obviously hasn't been looking the same since CS2, and that's absolutely true, but it does feel like recently, over the past 2-3 months, he has started to find his bearings a little bit more so. Demka apparently is also an AWPer that we forgot to discuss and appreciate. Didn't you know that? Demka's also an AWPer. Aggressive T-side AWPer with those opening duels. That's exactly what you remember him for, right? NPL, though, also an AWPer. Apparently, everyone's an AWPer these days, and they're all getting themselves some opening duels. Captain Kurt, in the meanwhile, though, has been able to push Waro to the side. Waro should realize that there is a ghost in the smoke, but Waro might be caught off here regardless. He looks away if the timing is wrong, but none of those things will come to transpire. NPL, in the meanwhile, great adjustment for another. Doesn't feel like you're putting yourself in a great position to actually get the round away unless it's going to be a B-side commitment. And Monte, well, they might be leaning into that.
I think that play was a little too fiery there from Waro. And Essential, Demka missed the shot. Essential, he's got the kill. It's just an AWP and a saved rifle. Now Alex is armed as well. Hajiri seems utterly certain that someone's inside of Palace at the moment, but he's just gonna watch for it. Oh, I think you're right about that, but he still strikes for the kill on Astico. He was certain about it, but instead the disconnect between the players. And now the Frenchman, a star of his former teams, now needs to turn up in a 1v3, and that just is not happening. Bait with 2 saved rifles and a full eco are gonna steal this one.
There's a lot of fingers to be pointed in this one, right? But just at the very end over there, Haji made noise dropping down on Tetris, so Alex doesn't take the peek forward to check for information because he doesn't need to. And it's a very small thing, don't get me wrong, but you add in the fact that Demka misses a shot on the player he's holding. Obviously, I was joking about the fact that about the fact that Demka is an op. Obviously, he's not, but Essential's been hitting some nuts shots all throughout. NPL picks up the AWP from Headtrick and starts rotating around the map, getting all of these fantastic frags. Bait played that really well, but it did feel like Monte, even after they find that initial pickoff, just went a little bit too loosey-goosey, and on top of that, they made individual mistakes in, small things like movement. The timeout is really necessary.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of disconnect there. I'm also very unsure about the move there from Waro in through Murder Hole. Yes, you're in a 3 versus 4, and even if you do get through without an op holding you, though, I mean, it feels a little egregious considering the situation. You're not desperate for that kind of advantage, and it's risk-taking. It's giving away isolated fights. It goes immediately wrong. I mean, a lot of surprises in that round. Temka winning the straight head-to-head versus, well, dare I say, Headtrick.
Yeah,
is its own thing. We'll pick up on that one a little bit later. We've got a fast mid default being held at bay, but just a couple of mollies. But Bait will concede. Essential, though, surely won't. Smoke's about to fade. It's going to be a headshot battle, but the off angle's better from Demka, and he's looking to spring himself into the B site.
Alex has moved back in here. Might not be expected, but he's been spotted out regardless. Demka able to give out that information, and Alex is going to be trying to take a duel versus one too many players. Demka's doing it all on his own. 3 for him. And look, he might not be an AWP, but frankly, he's also not really an entry player either. So, you know what? Demka's pulling out the all-rounder game.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good versatility from Demka. He's the lurker, but he can spring and turn into an entry whenever he feels like it. That is supreme impact coming through. That's exactly what you want out of your lurker. Able to pick off those isolated anchor players. And again, Essential is just a very aggressive style of play he brings to the table. Very loose, and sometimes he gets punished, and sometimes he gets rewarded. This time around, that solo play into the B apartments does not quite work out. Headtrick snaps on to Krasnell, but not quite the next. Headtrick today has been on the struggle bus.
Well, let's hope he doesn't start picking up any frequent flyer miles with him.
Yeah, that's This is an odd day. We just saw Headtrick miss that shot top middle versus Demka. I saw his hands and move off his mouse and keyboard there out of frustration, and then another right there.
Bait will be going into this last round of the half with some difficulties as far as their money is concerned as a result of those two players having their weapons taken away from them. We've got a single flashbang, a single incendiary. Well, one of them already been used, but effectively a single incendiary. And now you need to try and find a play. Essentials taking over the B site all on his own. Nice nade to open things up, but Stiko's ready. Gets the adjustment, even if he doesn't quite want to go for the full jump.
In certain
That's
ways,
a miss smoke.
Stiko has still got it. Oh, there's a miss smoke in the window. You're 100% right about that. Oh, but might not get punished here. Smoke towards top con. Molly will force back MPL. And Demka just definitely in the power position, always being set up on these lurks.
It's all about what Headtrick can actually find over here. If he goes for the full connector peak and he can actually take down Demka in this position, that would be huge. That's what they need from him over here. Essentials clearing out all of the short ladder as well. Bait have a good call about what's going to be going on. Monte need to do due diligence, smoke off top connector, anything like it, or make sure that you don't cross past default. NPL in the meanwhile has been found out. And all of the burden comes onto this one little deagle. That deagle taken down. Essential, quick into connector, but now with information for these players given away, they might be expecting Headtrick nearby, but the jungle smoke will disable him nonetheless. A Long to go out towards default, and Hedrick is all alone. A 1 versus 4 will find the first through the smoke as Waro overextends, but that nade will finish him off. Monte close out the half in style.
Yeah, I think it's a really clean conversion of that 4 versus 5. Get that lurk into a power position. He's going to be able to draw more and more attention away from an already weakened defense, and it actually does work out. You get to kill, no less as well, which is just even better. And then the execute drops in, and Captain Kirk gets lasered inside of CT spawn. So just good, clean conversion there, which is what you like to see out of Monte. Calm grouping, and just shows that the comms are good, and everyone's kind of on the same page for this Monte squad. While Bait, we've seen some disconnect in their players. We see some missed trades, we see some heavy individual fights, and some opportunities handed back to Monte.
Demka's one of the sharpest USB players that you're going to see, and he is putting it on display right now. Backs off after finding the first, and he's waiting for his teammates to come through. Time to play that 5 versus 4. Wind stop at that, make it a 5v2 as well. Wants to try and deny the bomb plant, but Demka's not going to be able to do so. Waro comes alive with 3 of his own, and, well, Monte feel comfortable going into the second half.
He just took a morning stroll onto the A site and just headshotted 3 players there for Waro. What on earth? He just took down the bomb planter, flicked up to the palace, and hit the threat angle on the headshot. I hope we get to see his perspective from that. Some ridiculous mechanics coming through. Yeah, just picking off the jungle play. Also, perfect positioning there for Monte to just wait for open arms and that kind of control. Yeah, talk about that last shot.
Yeah, all Waro needs to do is to start a Grindset Instagram account about how he wakes up at 4 in the morning, goes out for a 10K run, and finds 3 headshots in the middle.
Look, I haven't necessarily been on that self-improvement arc, but I've been doing my thing.
I've been doing all of that without the headshots. And the walk. And the waking up.
So you haven't really been doing that.
Hey,
I've been.
Don't dispute my truth. Okay, that's what it is. The truth is, though, the Monte have come through 8-6, and now they're going to be going up against a less than ideal buy for Bait as well in this situation. They're going to be going for 5 AKs. I don't really like this, I'll be honest, because one of Bait's biggest strengths is their flashbang layering on the T side, no matter what map it is. And I'm glad that they decide that, you know what, a Mac 10 and a Galil aren't that bad, because that is going to be a better looking buy overall. What do they do with it, though?
I think we might be already seeing just an off-spawn call here for Bait. They're going to send Alex up Cat and the other 4 going into, again, a weakened B site. Very leaning over towards that A side right now. And that leaves Krasnal.
Hedrick trying to be the man to deploy utility. Krasnal with a quick grenade through is making them nervous. Wow. Good damage as well. Flashes, dodge. Krasnal's getting ready. Shadows spotted. Players lined up and stacked up, and Krasnal's taking them down like Jenga. 3 found once more, but that's where Waro's there to try and prove distraction. Krasnal is looking for the full ace. Doesn't even want to reload over here. Knows that it's a priority to keep fighting. Make sure the bomb can't be found or planted. Anything of the sort. And Demka will take down Alex in the end as well.
How did he do it? I don't know how he got away with not just the first double, but then collecting the 3rd and the 4th on top is just crazy. I think Monte knew that they were in a terrible position, and they're still somehow winning that round. I mean, Demka thanking Krasnal over there. Finish that off. I just can't. I can't believe it. I can't fathom it. They were out of position completely. But Krasnal shows up with some X Factor. That's kind of what I love about this Monte squad. I just remember when Krasnal was just a youngster in the Polish squad, and I don't even think he's necessarily the biggest firepower element to this team, but just somehow finds spray downs at every turn. And I think the rest of Monte going to engage in some of that as Haji just charging forward, and yeah, let's see some of the confidence.
Well, yeah, Monte's hit that CT side high.
Everyone's multi-killing. That's a very scary part. I don't know how it is, but what it is the Monte style or what LMBT instills into these players, but even in these kind of positions, like, they're just multi-killing machines. Krasnell here, Demka on other. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Pocket $1,500 while you're at it. And Monte shaking a little bit more than salt in the wound. They might have just let out the whole container.
Well, Bait thought that they were winning this one.
Yeah, but I think Monte have just kind of, they played a bit cleaner, especially towards that T side. I just look at that one round where they get that 4v5, they get that mid control, and they just seed all of it back, get them kind of perfect position. They're able to check all their boxes right now while Bait searching for these opening fights, and a great pick there from Waro around the smoke. Failure to respect that AWP, and it's going to cost them.
Well, at the very least, Captain Kurt has come through with a trade and make it 2. Haji tries to peek in from behind before the smoke blooms, and he's punished for it. Damage is respectable, but respect is not really enough. Beta trying to move back into this one. The only thing they have to be worried about is the timing on the Stiko flank. And sure, Headtrick's aware of it, but also he's the one with the bomb. So at some point or the other, he needs to start moving away. That could be something they regret. Stiko has threaded the needle. But where is this little thread going to end up going? Is it going to be an A-sided flank that they're trying to set up? Waro thinks he's got B covered off, and for good reason. But you need sightlines into connector, and soon. Demka's playing it passive. He's not taking peeks. It's a stark contrast from what we saw from Captain Kurt on the other side. But now that Waro's been smoked off, the call is clear.
Demka's going to tuck away in towards CT spawn. They're going to not clear him, though. And then again, another player of Monte's going to find a multi. Headtrick does have one back, but now he's in a clutch. 1 versus 2 at the moment. Eats a flashbang, and surely he's just not ready for Stiko. Dig body shot combo. Headtrick just gonna face palm at the end of this one as Monte are looking to storm away with Mirage.
It's really cool to see Demka doing that over there, because obviously one of the rounds that Monte, rather B8, lost out was where Captain Kirka's Deagle and NPL had an M4 back towards top connector, right? So NPL in that position tries and clears out top connector and he dies. But at the same time, you see that Captain Kurt was just trying to go for this long-range duel with the Deagle into A main instead. Demka's in a very similar position here. He's isolated. It's a 3 versus 4, but he actually decides to sit behind and play full sneaky, wait for the bomb plant, anything like it. And you can see how much more pressure that puts onto a team like Bait then, right? Bait have to go out. They have to try and clear it. And that's why they get punished massively. Now, Alex's position not really fully known, despite the fact that Monte did blow open that smoke with a grenade. I think they got flashed up right as they did.
Oh, we have a little bit of contact from bottom middle. A lot of information being fed into Monte's camp. 2 players who were just bottom mid, 1 top mid. That's kind of counting 3 on the minds of Stiko. That's enough for him to lure in a push forward. And look at this bait and switch setup. There's a smoke. You can Krasnell spamming to try and sell it. And these players are walking knife out. Instant headshot for Stiko in the double. And Krasnell is still here. They're going to think it's empty. Krasnell is going to probably multi-kill. Backs turn. Captain Kirka moonwalks into the side anchor. Krasnell even looking for more. Eventually he will fall. But then the op arrives of Waro. And this round was never a reality unless Headtrick has a clutch.
Feels unlikely. At least he's got the bomb and a fair bit of distance in the CTs, but revealing his position is going to start closing that distance down very soon. Bomb tapped out and the smoke is down, but he's just not going to have the timing. Demka swings out from short and shuts him down. Monte are looking clean on the CT side. Even when they're not looking clean, they start to look clean after a triple kill. What a luxury to have.
That is so cool. I really like that setup from Monte. After a lot of mid presence is shown, the decision to just activate that extremity push as well. It's kind of bait playing with their cards mostly on the table and not close enough to the chest, and that allows Monte to form a really sick setup in that mid round. And bait, this is kind of their last gasp. Galils and a half set of utility basically for everyone. Straight A play here.
They do clear out Demka at the very least with a great Molotov, and Haji will be a little bit late to the party. They have grenades on Stiko, but Stiko's a bit further off, so you can't actually pop open that nade. And meanwhile, through the smoke, War has been found. Haji can't do anything about this bomb being planted. Bates, fast A play will find success on success on success. It's exactly the kind of thing that they do like to go for. That did feel like it was slightly missing. What a shot from Krastel as well. It's one for the highlight reel, not really for the rounds up above, but at least it's consolation.
It is consolation towards the very end. I think a little, you know, they couldn't get bailed out by a silly multi-kill again when the Monte guys are a little out of position. Demka, of course, just gets mollied instantly, and once you play in towards Sandwich, well, the round's kind of over. No one is even close to CT spawn is the big problem there. As I think it's a nice call there from Bait. Constant mid defaults. Rain or shine, but facing down the barrel, they just toss in a straight A play, and most of the Monte players are left tending to mid as the smoke rains through. So, all things said, a really nice call to kind of switch up, but, you know, you can only get away with that kind of round once. The conditioning is kind of over. We're going to call in a timeout, which I do respect. Because now that your conditioning is all done, you have to try and find another way to win. You kind of got your cool round where you can catch your opponent off guard.
Look, I'd love to see another faster play, to be honest.
Okay.
Pull it out again.
All right.
See where it goes. Right?
I trust you. I trust you. And I trust the individuals here on Bait to actually kind of execute that kind of play. I mean, Essential has had just a fine game, and I think he has some of the strongest mechanics on his team, despite the stats, to be fair. The eye test really looks good for this guy. Same goes here for Alex. He's already up connector on the contact. And, well, Demka is very lucky to be alive right now. Bait have gotten a lot of space.
You can't miss shots like that one. Demka's going to be such a menace now, trying to find back into connector. Finds himself Alex, and no good deed goes unpunished, I suppose. Essential in the meanwhile, missing a crucial shot, and now with his position reveal, Haji comes alive. You've got another man walking up into the confines of Palace itself, and with B still well defended, Bait have nowhere to go. NPL has found a room to try and hide in, but Stiko is actually still watching out for anything like it. Head trick good for the double, and maybe this is their chance to start bringing things back. They aren't fully ready for Demka to flank them out. They're more worried about him maybe being in CT, and that's not really the case.
That is ridiculous. How do they just find 3 isolated kills? Now, Demka, oh, the smoke. And I think right there, head trick just got past the angle without Stiko knowing, and then he does strike Demka. Oh, he just has his nade in hand as well. He's been spotted, and surely he's about to be finished off there. A little bit labored on the spray from Captain Kirka, but it's Bait who pull off a 2 versus 5.
That is about as big of a ball as you can drop over there. Yes, on every single level, the fact that they continue to try and take peace out after getting that advantage as well, not just holding down the lines. Head trick, find the double kill over there, like you're just being so over eager to try and trade in those situations. I understand the desire to do so, but also at the same time, you have to remember your third player on the A site is not anywhere nearby, so you're effectively playing a 1 versus 2. It is a travesty. Even towards the end of the 2v2, I think Demka actually spotted out the gun barrel off Captain Kurt, but didn't register it. Obviously, a lot easier for us with the X-ray. But, man.
Not done yet. Ooh, Seiko dodges a headshot. And draws out a lot of utility and rotates, but it's just a fake on the play here from Bait.
Stiko using that smoke early on actually is going to be a bit of a problem if they ended up hitting the B bomb side, but Beta circling back to A. They're relying on Alex in middle to be able to make a play up connector and see if he can take a duel versus Krasl or at least put the pressure onto Haji. One or the other both work, but Essential in the meanwhile is also worried about information being gathered. Now, Hetrick takes a point, takes a lead forward. No one will be contesting him. Haji's playing close by, but he wants to try and watch out for the jungle angle instead. Or rather, just a jungle boost.
Oh, and Haji also just gets picked off. I guess he dies for information, though, and maybe that's enough to scramble some extra rotates in time. Krasnell, though, can't hold on, and Woro just gets eliminated immediately as Bait blasts through another site. But Demka has something to say. Still fighting out for Market Door, and he lines up too to try and end this map. Are you kidding me? As Alex jumps into Market, he meets Stiko. Demka given a gift, and Monte will rip this map away.
You win a 2v5, we can win a 2v4. That's fine. That's okay, right? That's how it works. That's what Monte's showing us, and Demka giving us so many of those fans.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Bait just come out the door swinging, especially with Hedrick as well. But I do think we will see that on the server. I do think the game is ready, if I heard that correctly. So we will be moving into Nuke soon enough.
All right.
Here we, boys.
Well, let's go ahead and get it here, Tea Time. First of all, I still think that Tea Time is probably one of the best commentator names out there. We might have to hold the praise here, though, as we're moving on. It's just a straight up ramp play.
You can continue with the praise. It's okay.
Okay.
No, of course not. Ramp play being planned out by B8 right now, and Stiko's over here to intercept. The dualies unable to find anything over the first dak. But as B8 are known to do, they slow things down, and Haji's little dak can't find anything either. NPL. In fact, the first one to break blood and break life, and Krasl trying to fight back against his Heaven Assault, but he can't really actually send them back to hell. A lot of missed shots. Even Stiko comes in, hits a few on the body, but no casualties on the T side.
Just somehow they couldn't hit the headshots on the way in. There was a slight opportunity, but that's all been ripped away. And this one is looking to fall pretty darn one-sided here from Bait. I honestly think Monte had a fine setup to deal with this kind of play. But no one got their one. And to be honest, that's just kind of how these pistol rounds go. If you hit the shots, you win the round. The strats kind of just go out the window. Krasnell will pocket some kill reward on the way out. But at the end of this, we're going to see Bait lead off their pick with the pistol. Terrorists win. You know, there's been some talk about, like, why does the pistol round even exist? I think it's like one of the quintessential parts about Counter-Strike. But it's not necessarily strategically oriented, and you know, it's not necessarily, it's not skill. It doesn't feel extremely skill-based when it comes to team to team. If you just have a bunch of guys who can hit a couple headshots, it doesn't really matter what strat you run on the pistol.
That seems to be the situation generally, yeah. If you can't hit the shot, you can't hit the shot, and then you die in Counter-Strike.
I mean.
While we're on a technical timeout, Fawn, can you go back to telling me how much you love my name? Yeah, thanks, Sam. I appreciate that.
I was gonna harken back to our other tech timeout thing.
Damn. Okay.
Sorry. We'll wait for like the tech pause after it, and then.
All right. That's what everyone says.
And then I'll come back and.
The tech time myself. I don't even get any love over here. This is what the situation is. Just like back home. Mum lines up all the siblings. She gives them all hugs, and then you'll get one in the next lineup. And then it never came.
And never arrived. Always last in the queue, and just too far away.
Yeah.
Tough stuff there, Tea Time.
Tough stuff now for Monte to try and get done. They've got a M4 for Krasl purchase into this one. Can he actually find anything with it? Big question. Demka, in the meanwhile, is spraining an ankle. It's a painful experience. Wouldn't recommend it. You should immediately band-aid, rest, ice, and compress. And elevate. The right strategy.
That was so intricate. Thank you so much. Now I know how to. I've yet to sprain my ankle, but now
Really?
I know. Now I know how to fix it. Yeah.
Okay, that's just okay.
Well,
That's
I
the most
haven't been
young person
outside.
thing I've ever heard. I've yet to sprain my ankle.
Yeah. I mean, I just haven't gone outside most of my life here, tea time. That's why I'm talking about video games at the moment. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well,
It's coming though. I'm starting to get more active. I told you about the self-improvement arc. It's gonna happen.
okay, I believe in the grind set mindset, but I also believe that Bait won't really need much of a grind set to get control of this A-site. Monte likely going to be considering saving these weapons and hoping that they can get a better read in the next round.
Yeah, a little gamble, hoping that it would outside default into the force buy, but yeah, that's not gonna happen here. But yeah, look, like tea time. Sometimes I just, you know, the pandemic kind of kept me indoors.
How old
Just
are you?
gonna say, I
How
am
old are you?
20.
You're 21, right? You're 20.
I'm
Okay, so
20.
you spent about 4 years of your life locked up inside in the pandemic times as
Basically.
well. Okay, fair enough.
You know, that's like
See,
the.
you're just making me feel older though, because here's the thing: I will randomly wake up with a sprained ankle. Like I will go to sleep and I wake up and I have a sprained ankle. So this is really just making me understand that maybe my best years are behind me. But then the ones afterwards can't be that bad, right? We're casting Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's not that terrible. I mean, you're not far off from your prime. All right, the ability to cast Counter-Strike is necessarily the worst part of life, I'd say here. I'd say we're pretty lucky to be here casting Monte taking on Bait. Waking up with a sprained ankle, that just doesn't make sense.
Dude, so I agree, especially because I go out, I get my blood tests done and everything as well every single time, right? And everyone's like, oh, maybe you've got this acid missing, or that vitamin, or this or that. And I'm just showing them all these different bottles I've got. I've got my probiotics, I've got my vitamin D, I've got my uric acid, I've got my magnesium, I've got my zinc, I've got my iron, I've got my cod liver oil, I've got every single suppy known to mankind, and I still wake up with a sprained ankle. I'm not even overweight or anything like that either, right? Like I'm all right.
Yeah,
But
you're like a
that's
normal
life.
person.
Yeah, I'm actually like reasonably fit as well. Pop me outside and run a 5K, I can do that. Sure, it'll take me an hour and a half, and you know some people would call it crawling and not running, but you know.
Yeah, and I'm living kind of like a gamer, I will say. So, you know, terrible sleep schedule. I play video games.
Well, you might do all of that, but you're still not as good as Monte are. And Monte might not be good enough to win this next round, despite the fact that they're taking the exact same weaponry as they had in the previous one. They're hoping that they can get a better read on things, get a better stack going this time over. A little bit more of a priority for Krasel to take outside presence and see if there's any shots to fire out, but none so far.
I'm just getting grilled. Like, what was this? Again, I can't really even call it a stray, because that was kind of just like pointed at me, to be honest. 5k hours and barely can make it out of level 10. So there you go.
It's okay, dude.
We
I'm
got
level
this-
4. It's alright.
Oh my goodness.
Bait,
Look
though,
who's
have
talking.
crossed out back towards Garage. They want to make a play for Demka, and he's just not ready for it. 3 men into Garage. At least that information will be given over. Can Krasel do anything about this? It's already been across back towards the left side CT wall. NPL is hoping to make a move on, and Haji has been discovered. Krasel, advantage, yes, but cover found by NPL. Quickly forfeited. Haji will take him down.
Oh, and a 5-7 creeping in towards lobby as well. Could seize this control. And Waro will deliver it. But now these three players make their way in through mini. Huge shot there by Captain Kirka, who gets a second on the drive-by. Waro down next. Bomb plant established, and Bait will dodge out on the 5-7s. The question is, do Monte continue to press forward? Surely with this kind of HP on Captain Kirka, they're going to give this one a whirl. But Hedrick tucks away. Post plants get to be established, and the kills go the way of Bait. They're going to avoid a half-buy victory out of Monte.
The worst part about Monte's investment in that situation is obviously that you don't really stress out the T-side economy here either. So even if you win this round, Monte are not going to be dealing with a lowered buy or anything like it. Now, War does pull out the AWP, and Demka's got an M4A4 as well, but you can see the limitations on utility as well. So what is the play that Monte want to go and make? You'd love to see some early aggression from them, but it's going to be hard to do that when you've got a double setup inside Squeaky ready to trade in case that's where the op wants to peek. Haji now giving Demka a bit more assistance on outside. NPL is going to be hard clearing this angle, but Haji's spam would have gotten the better of him regardless of whether Demka shot or not.
Oh boy. And it's going to get a little bit weirder here for Bait. They're going to charge into a double setup. They are just going to go right into the blender. All things said, this round was just never meant to be. They just outside lurk gets picked instantly, and plan B is go right into the stack. That one was over just with the quickness. Don't really know what you can really call about that. If plan A doesn't work, then plan B didn't work, and yeah, round's done. Oh, time to take a different approach, I suppose, here for Bait. Something a bit slower, perhaps. MPL looking to work outside this time around. Push forward from Demka has not been seen. Gonna assume the exact same angle. It's Haji who's almost caught in the crossfire again, but they're not gonna clear it. Demka again, and he's able to escape through Mini as well. They got away with it twice. Just can't believe it.
Yeah. Monte have turtled up inside the side. Sanji as well playing very passively on outside from lockers, just trying to get some spam going in. But Demka's the one looking to make a play, perhaps inside the smoke. He would want to move out. Alex watching out for it as well, but Demka turns around, worried about a garage cross. That's what he was caught off by before. And right as the smokes dissipate, Alex gets the better of him as well. That lurking presence that you highlighted comes into play, but Bait have yet to commit to either site. This could still go very, very wrong should Waro find a frag outside.
They're so convinced that everyone was just outside here for Bait. At the 30-second mark, you have two players down on the low site, but now Waro, he's cutting the cross. He's going to try and deny them from getting in towards Mini. It's a perfect position here out of the AWP. Asensio will be able to scoop up the bomb at least, and Monte actually will probably have to take a retake, except Waro just disrespects it all and takes the whole team with him. Monte with the second.
It's easy to be distracted by how sexy that quad kill was from Waro, but we have to keep in mind it's actually a pretty titillating call as well. The stack out towards the lower bomb site between Stico and Krasnel being set up, and Monte decide that the only thing they have to worry about is outside. There's not going to be a chance for B8 to actually make the play in for an upper side hit beyond maybe a lurk, and that was being washed out for. So Waro continues to re-peek aggressively on outside till he actually finds the frags. The fact that on 18 seconds is when he basically gets that first kill out of 4, that is kind of crazy. To be aggressing in a position where you know there might be only one lurker, because that's how much faith he has in his lower side players.
Again, it's just ridiculous X factor here from Monte, even though, you know, manpower wise they are out of position. But when that op is actually just in the perfect place at the perfect time, it's able to strike. That is just some excellent positioning and setup in the mid round, and that really has been Monte all this entire time, has been these mid rounds. just been super clean. Maybe not the opening stages all the time, not all the opening kills necessarily, but whatever LMBT is doing behind the scenes, you might not lose the opening kill, but even in the 4-on-5, Monte still can hold steadfast. They're feeling bold. I think that
Monte's a lot of things. Scared is not one of them.
yeah, they're just charging forward into pistols right now. It is ridiculous. They're going for multi-kills. They're having a bit of a ball.
I don't like how much fun Demka's having, honestly. Every time we see his camera, he's just like, ha 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 ha, I just boned these guys. And for Monte, on a serious note, this could end up being problematic later on. Beta are obviously in a position where we're going to need to see a slight change of pace from them, maybe a little bit less of the super late round-sided things that we have maybe come to expect from their AKs, and maybe less reliance on their lurks, but if they're able to make that change of pace, I don't know if Monte are going to be quite ready to put behind that, hey, look at us, we're getting multi-frag mentality on time. In all fairness, I do think that Stiko's addition as the theoretical disciplinarian has been actually quite good for this team, even if you do miss out on some firepower that Bro was having in his positions before. But let's take a look and see how relevant that could end up being. Brassel in the meanwhile gets aggressive, headshot found, but Essential trades and his dink is bigger. Grassel will find that out the hard way.
Ooh, but look at this move now from Stiko. He can activate on the fast flank. We'll see how Demka can hold on this A-side anchor. Ooh, Stiko makes his move a tad early. And now that actually allows options to move back and forth. Demka, though, moving through the smoke, will be quickly found, and Haji quickly traded. A wild round there for Monte. They gave themselves chances with fast flanks, but maybe jumped the gun a tad early.
It's interesting that Krastel tries to go for that initial fast deal straight into Hut when Stiko was planning out that flank, because Stiko also chucks out a smoke through ramp, which makes it so you're much more you're gonna have a much more difficult time trying to go for the sandwich. It feels like Monte wanted to try and go for a delayed double fake, double pump lobby crunch. But then when Demka's forced away by the flashbang, Stiko and him can't really put their connections together. You can't get that sort of rook on rook chess strategy that you like to play in from the lobby crunch situation. But yeah, maybe something they go for again at a later point.
See what Fate have to bring to the table in this one. As they definitely have pumped the brakes. They're trying to lure some information outside, but Haji is out towards Secret. That's allowing this A-site hold to stay steadfast. Krasnell and Demka up top, looking away on the off angle. He's doubled up, and Krasnell's got his easy kill. A 3-for-1 on the initial. Waro even steps in for another kill. Barrel spotted, and round finish. Monte in perfect position.
They try and double up from what worked last time over, and this time when you put much better positions out from Demka and he can actually hold down a traditional angle instead of trying to get frisky in a smoke, you can see the difference coming in there. Demka, always such a stable hand, and God, can I just say, I love the fact that he prioritizes that M4A4. There's just not enough players using that yet because they prefer the ability to penetrate smokes a little bit more silently and everything else that the M4A1 does provide, but an A4 in the hands of an anchor player, it just hits different. I say that, and I just see a mean M4A1 silence. Stiko, my God.
You just headshot
way to make an argument.
All. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he shut us all up real quick. Because you don't need an A4 when you just headshot everyone on the inbound right there from Stiko.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he just double dinked the whole team.
Yes, that's a reasonable expectation.
Yeah, It is crazy. I feel like Stiko flies under the radar when it comes to his individual ability. I mean, he has for like most of his career, but don't forget the Godsend days when he was actually just the star player. And hey, he shows a little bit of that form today. And he's back at it. Look at this. At the minute 30 mark, it is a full shift walk clear of lobby. At the moment. Monte have just taken this part of the map, and Bait hardly even know it.
This is so cute because they've also just put 2 players down aggressively into the secret stairs. I think this is a timeout call, though.
But Waro is taking damage. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Okay.
I think it was team damage as well as the thing. So if you've been knifed by a teammate in the beginning, I don't know if that counts.
Okay, so maybe that's why the T side wasn't really working in towards lobby control.
Yeah.
In that particular round.
I need to get the suspense out. Who is the worst player that you have seen as far as naming conventions for pronunciation?
Okay, so we have this guy. His name is spelled PNDLM. And it's pronounced pendulum, but it's just very it doesn't really roll off the brain very well when you first see it.
Pendulum.
It's a little awkward in terms of the spelling.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's like mostly what we have down here in North America. I don't really besides the truck lovers of the world, though, give them that.
Nah. Gotta love some trucks. Beautiful beasts. Very scary on the road as well, I will say. But Monte's been scary on their road to success so far on the CT side of Nuke. It feels like Waro has been a man to stay away from. Crastle no different. And when you're trying to stay away from both of them, it does feel like one way or another you will end up on a lap that you don't want to be in. Oh no.
Oh no. Well, no, there ain't gonna be a reset after this one, so better lock in. Because Waro's gonna step forward. They're gonna go for the exact same move. This time around, though, Sentiel's waiting around the smoke. And, well, the punish, not quite there. Instead, it's a 3-for-1. Lobby control was free. They did the same thing. Bait returned to lobby, though, and they get eviscerated. Look at this, Waro. Oh, he was watching. He misses the shot. Oh, my goodness. That gets weird. MPL. Molly down the vents. Demka is still present inside of lobby right now. Is he going to pull some pins? No, instead he'll try to back away. Slink, try to dodge out Captain Kirka. And Demka just better. Haji at range. And despite the awkwardness, Monte run the same strat back twice. And it still works.
One of the things that I appreciate a lot about how Demka tries to play a lot of these angles is that he actually doesn't do the new CS2 AD spam thing, which might be the optimal way to play them, but he plays these sliding angles which are really nice, right? You know, you see him just trying to make sure that he's always swinging into the other guy without having that AD spam that can actually catch you off as a rifler on an anchoring position. So it's this nice little adjustment, it's nice little middle ground to meet between meta and necessity of anchoring.
Yeah, kind of working around with the mechanics. Kind of seeing what works. Fake outside smoke, so this is going to turn straight into a mini split. And Krasno, whoa, he's looking out in no man's land there. Demka also goes down with ease. Hachi can't even find a kill. He's going to pop
That's a big
out forward
misstep.
anyways. But
Hachi only finds himself one over there, and Monte are now in a 2 versus 4, likely in a position where they have to save.
But reaching last round of the half territory, they could just throw themselves at the situation anyways. Waro, probably best that he does hold on to this AWP towards the end. Just what's going on there with Krasno? I understand he gets fully blinded up, but has to use his entire mouse to flick over to Mini, that's not happening.
I wonder if that's just trying to be anti-flash towards one particular flashbang angle, the one that pops on the right side. But very often when you're going for a late round execute, it's a left side flash that you have to be worried about. So yeah, very strange for sure, especially when you add in the fact that there clearly haven't been comms, or if they have, he hasn't registered them. And there could be a mini push to come through. So Bait get given a big lifeline, and they have grabbed a hold of it. Can they actually make this a 6-6? Because frankly, 5 is good enough on the T side as is.
Oh boy. See if they can pick it up, and it's looking good. Shoulder spotted there from Krasnal, and Alex picks it up with ease. Waro wants to get himself down the vents and fight towards Secret. And he'll control and maraud outside with that AWP, looking to resurface from that very angle over towards Secret, while the rest of Bait are taking this one patient.
NPL and Captain Kurt are being set up for an outside smoke cross, so Haji is really the only one you have to be worried about unless you start going to the lower bomb side. If this is going to be a garage hit, then he's a man to keep an eye out on. Meanwhile, Waro obviously covering off the Secret stairs. If he gets one, then Haji can get his own backstab getting ready to go as well. Bait, so far, are leaning towards the Frenchman's side, but that lean can quickly be rectified. Waro's taken a step back as well. In the meanwhile, Haji good for one. They need to start swinging, and Haji's worried about a flash to follow. He thought there would only be one player. The delayed swing does catch him off guard, and now Waro suddenly caught between two minds. Where does he go? Stiko's going to be called to order. He needs to find some big frags over here, and as he starts to take the foray out, good for the first. A quick Molotov to make sure they can't chase past, but it's gone too far, and his rifle will have to come into play. Flashes continue to rain through. He is asking for backup. Nice headshot angle as well, and it's Waro to give him the cover. Stiko knows every single play you can make in that position, and time just run out. Hedrick's got no chance over here. Bomb can't be planted anymore either. Waro will put him down.
That is such a perfect play there from Stiko. The fact that he's able to just maneuver between the angles, and he sees two players on his screen. He doesn't commit to the spray down. He takes the one kill, steals it, falls back, and understands the win condition. Like, the player IQ on this guy is leagues above the rest right now. And in the way that he decided to play that was absolutely perfect. He bought time for rotates. Like, if you are, a Counter-Strike player and want to understand how to play these situations, Stiko just played that. He didn't play greedy. He played to the win conditions. And I played a game. I played Battlefield, and in the community, there's a abbreviation that goes PTFO. It's play the fun objective. And
Right. Yes, the fun objective.
That's what the fun objective. And well, Stiko did that.
Right. I do love fun.
Yeah, it could be like...
isn't fun the best, Vi?
Yeah, play the
I hate
fun
you're
objective.
into a lot of fun yourself, yeah.
What do you mean, like... What are you talking about?
We're talking about the game going on right now. Monte calling attack time out to take a little bit of a breather, but now no more breaths to take. They are straight into A, interrupted by Captain Kurt, Alex, and NPL. The full barrage of Bait will come through, and Monte have been stopped in their tracks.
Once again, just the firepower is so strong from Bait. And just not a chance, really. I mean, those flying USPs were just plucked... Or the Glocks were plucked out of the sky by the USPs. If he didn't even get to touch the floor. Krasnal, though, really get challenged. That is the one opportunity, but Waro, that's just not going to happen with the shadow advantage over towards Mini. And Krasnal armorless. Not even meaningful as MPL does connect in for the headshot. Bait coming through with some heavy firepower, and it's going to secure them. The second pistol of this map.
Does Monte eco here? I really hope so. All right, looks like that will be the case. Okay.
Zeus.
Zeus out for Hanji. Zeus have... I don't think I've seen it actually get a kill since a nerf, to be honest.
Is he going for a mini drop? He's taking the Zeus top silo there. Let him
Guy
cook.
knows what he wants.
He is towards top silo right now. Or at least trying to get up top. And they look at this passive outside setup, like extremely passive. These pistols are just gonna knock on the door of whatever part of the map they feel like. And there you go, Krasnal with one, and a real screamer of a headshot there. There's a second inside of Mini as well. They know that. And oh my goodness! A dropping block from Demka, but it's not enough to win the round. You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, that's so funny. War was baiting it out with the shadow and the leg just... Oh, look at the shadow, look at this leg, and Flying Angel of Death with the Glock.
Like, what?
Dude, this
I'm
is so
sorry.
funny. Oh my god, that's so funny. He's not even aiming at his head. Oh, that's the best.
You're like one tapped in midair. It's just... It doesn't matter towards the very end, however. It's not the biggest of deals. This is the real stuff. Monte have lost both pistols, but with rifles, they've shown that same X factor on Mirage. They've shown the same multi-kill ability. Can they put together a buttoned-up T side? Right now, they do got Haji down in towards Secret. And the old-fashioned player in Secret, maybe you group up towards lobby, maybe you take it towards ramp. And Monte, you're going to take that opportunity.
Can Essential pull off a Stico moment with the M4A1? It's a slow crawl forward. Headtrick is going to be the first one to take contact, and with the shadow spotted out, Headtrick collects one for free. Trades can't really be found until maybe a bit too late, already guaranteeing a 2-for-1, and as Headtrick is retreating back to the heavens, it is going to be a Demka descent.
Hold on, and yeah, Haji's cutting off the vents, so believe it or not, it's actually a free bomb plant coming through for Monte. Question is, how will that ramp room be dealt with? 3 players coming in for the retake.
It's all about that first contact that's going to be made out from the CTs. Who's going to be the one to do it? Nice little hole in through the doors as well to keep an eye out for Krasnal. Will be spotting out the player. Alex wasn't ready for it at all. Taken down quickly. Demka adds another to the tally, and despite the good start to the round, it is going to be disastrous at the end for Bait. Headtrick wants nothing to do with it either. He is running away. Very nicely done from Monte.
That is so sick. That tiny little angle through the door for Krasnal, and that kill is just impossible to trade. Right there. These little gimmicks. If you know everything about this map, you can find ways to guarantee yourself hugely favorable fights. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that in a Nar Out Here video on Twitter.
Hey guys, so if you've got time when you go down to the lower bomb set, you can actually open this hole in the door like Krasnal did and find a kill. Now, Krasnal only found 1 kill, but if it was Dong, it would have been 5.
I think it's more like Krasnal, he just starts into it. There's no intro, right? It's like Krasnal here is going to open up the door. He's going to look through the hole in this door.
You gotta do it with the voice.
He's gonna get
you can't just use your own voice for that. Don't disrespect Nart, the greatest utility YouTuber of all time.
His voice is just ASMR. It's pretty nice, honestly.
I don't think Bait want to be on the receiving end of a not out here video though, unless they at least won out the map. They need to do something about this here and now. This is not a great buy coming out from them. Captain Kurt, Alex, and Ascento will all be sitting less than pretty. Ramp-sided focus once again, essential.
Oh. This is
Need
brutal.
to open up the smoke, and flashes will all be dodged. NPL is providing cover fire as Hetrick did before, and again they find 2, but this time NPL is able to make it a 3rd.
Hold on, but Hachi's still up to no good. Outside, but then NPL just makes the rotate. He was fighting in towards J-Hole, but then he moves back to Heaven to clean up Haji.
But what is J-Hole?
I call it, well... Okay, this is gonna be...
The room on the right? Oh, maybe still a conversation to be had about the round. In fact, Waro does have the bomb and some time with it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. Like, this routing through secret, it's cool. If he had another 10 seconds, I think it could be, like, round winning, but I'm not sure he can shift walk the whole way. 25 seconds remaining. He is power walking in towards control room. It might work. Oh, but now, okay. Edric, he thinks something is up. He thinks something might be up. Hello there, but then he does spin. He does check his 6. And Waro2K walking down the steps will be sent sliding down. J-Hall it's the, like, Hell is below the ladder and towards the locker room. And J-Hall is the place that
door
connects.
next to it. Okay, fair enough.
It connects Hell, connects Hell to the ramp. And
okay. That's the first time I've ever heard that. Fair enough.
I mean, that's at least a pretty common call here in North America. I'm not sure for the rest of that, but yeah, that's what Hetrick just walked through, was J-Hall.
Fair enough. Okay, there you go. Monte will not be lying down in their eco. They at least pull out a little bit of a pinprick. Haji's AK is getting ready to maybe get a tapestry going.
Yeah, looking possible.
Haji's the player to do it. Can he live up to it, though? He's got a lot of bodies blocking it off. NPL and Essential every single time. They're setting up for this ramp crossfire. It ends up working for them. Very nicely done.
Oh. I mean, again, mechanics on this player just really underrated. He's going to go for 4. And, well, the ace will be stolen by Captain Kirka. Essential continues to just really deliver in terms of the mechanics. Doesn't really get active. Has a lot of the really annoying roles. Has to be anchor on every single map here for Bait, but right guy for the job.
He's being set up for success as well, and the surprising thing is that we're not actually seeing any pressure outside from Monte or anything like it a lot of these rounds, so you can't fault Bait for putting 2 players in ramp again and again. If you're not going to have to deal with that outside presence and outside pressure, then why would you need to rotate that player away? And Biel also has been very good at actually putting himself back up in heaven when called out to it. I think Monte have realized this now, though. With the outside smokes being set up, at the very least, they're hoping to force some players away and make a play around it. Demka has been left in a one-on-one. Essential playing in behind the smoke, but that grenade from the CTs doesn't quite go far enough. NPL unable to get information.
So they do make it down. That molly is far too late. It will singe away at Krasnal, however. And that does call Alex and Essential in for the rotate. But neither of which are actually going to fight the secret steps. Look at the rotates actually scrambled. This is 4 players over towards the B-side area. MPL was also in ramp room for just a moment. Head Trick is also there. But it's actually turning into a bit of a heaven wrap here.
It really comes down to what NPL is able to get done, and so far he has been the man of the hour. Head Trick finds Demka. One angle dealt with, one angle taken care of, but now Monte feel like they don't have anywhere else to go. They were so committed out towards the heaven ramp that now it's only the A side that they can attack. Little do they know, and that would be the right decision. Captain Kurt, the only one who can actually contest it, but still, 20 seconds on the clock. It is ticking down, and very quickly, Haji gets the crucial frag. And now NPL trying to come in from behind. He will be caught out, can't quite escape the confined to the ladder inaccuracy. Alex, in the meanwhile, does come up through the vents, but made too much noise. Still turns around and gets a freebie. Monte in a 3 versus 3, one that should never have come to be, and Hedrick leads the charge back out from hard position reveal. Hedrick finds one, finds two, and it's all down to Waro. Picks up a double of his own as well, and Alex, the life that was not meant to be had, will come through on the full crutch.
Oh, that's going to be painful here for the guys over at Monte. This round was locked up right then and there. That kill on Alex seals away that round completely. You have just full squeaky control. Your post plants are godlike, but instead you have a whiff. You just have a whiff, and that's the reason you lose here. Also, Krasnal just a bit ambitious there to try and pick up the weapon, hands his life over, and the 1 versus 3 not enough. Monte, they're going to put themselves down to pretty close to the bottom dollar. Waro2K is basically saying, I'm not buying an op for the rest of this map if it comes down to it. He's hero rifling. Krasnal basically the same. They're going to try and blast through here, at least Demka, if he wasn't met with a molly. And it continued to make the move. But we will see the wall smokes come down. Monte going to maintain pace. Oh, and they're fast. Oh, they are just turboing through Secret right now. It's only 30 seconds into the round, and they're already blasting in onto the B site. And believe it or not here, Tea Time, no one's home.
NPL does find Krasnal though in the meanwhile on outside. Bait have been good about this. Bait have been good about finding the lurkers. Previous round it was Demka, now it's Krasnal taken down. The bomb can be planted comfortably so. Monte can't believe that fact, but really it comes down to Haji and what he can find with the Tech 9. Is it the weapon for the job? Absolutely not, but he has to do it regardless. A grenade will meet his teammate. Waro's found one. Seiko wants to get involved. Waro's doing it all on his own. He has given them this round, and Haji only has to unwrap this present, and he'll do so perfectly. Hedrick left alone. A 1-on-3, a pistol in hand. No hope in sight.
Unbelievable. Waro from the single door is the one to do it. It's Monte who in the spur of the moment are able to assemble a crossfire inside a Secret. That is some immense communication coming through at that very moment. And then coming out of the trenches there from Haji, extremely smart, picks up the AK and even handles the vent lurk. That is so insane there from Monte. Just incredible cohesion, amazing individuals. It's honestly just Monte Counter-Strike.
The fact that Bait are actually buying into this round is obviously indicative of what the loss bonus is looking like, but you are setting yourself up for potentially Monte just finding that 11th for free should you lose here. And Bait have not had their question marks really come through with big answers yet either. Oof. Alex has still not been looking the best in NPL, although he has really picked things up in these past few rounds. That has very largely been all around one part of the map. When you're looking in towards that ramp fight, now that Monte started to dissuade them, it really comes down to Hedrick on outside. Can't find it. Krasnal eliminates him. And with that, that feels like the hopes of Bait in this round are gone.
Yeah, already climbing up for the heaven wrap. Okay, but there is Alex down here on the low site. Back of the silo. About to be crunched in upon, but oh, Essential. Okay, he made his way up the ladder into 2 players. He actually got some damage downrange, but then the backstab. As when you're playing that back silo position, you just got too many angles to look at. And this 4 spy is it could cost Bait the tournament, believe it or not. Okay, but that's an op for retrieval. But won't be able to escape the nade. Massive blast radius on those ones these days. As Monte drag it to 10 all, and we're looking at a map here and a potential 2-0.
We're not going to see an op from Hedrick unless they steal it away in this one as well. $2,400 going into the next one. It is unideal. All of this obviously comes out despite the fact that Bait do get some lifelines that maybe they shouldn't have had. You look out towards that Alex clutch on the 1v1 versus Waro as well. as a few other of these small mistakes that have been made. But Monte are still leading the charge on this T side. Now that they have stopped going out towards Essential and Headtrick, or Essential and NPL, or Essential and whoever the hell they want to put there.
Yeah, Monte feeling extremely confident with their outside control. They're constantly finding isolated players here. Of course, this is just the eco, so it's pretty just easy to pick on these straight 1-versus-1 duels. But consistently outside has been mostly just uncontested. Bait have been super concentrated towards A, towards that B ramp side, just keeping the inner bomb site under lock and key. Now, Waro is gonna hand over his op once again, and one of his teammates will have to donate it back to him.
Yeah, Waro likes to pass it around.
Everyone gets a chance.
Hedrick won't actually receive it though. Waro will be recovering that AWP, and we are going to be seeing whether or not Bait have any aggressive moves. So far, a lot of their success has come in from defensive crossplay. If there's ever a time to go get yourself a bit more map control, make a play, this would be it.
All right. Here in EU5 right now. Monte just 2 rounds away from advancing onto that grand final later today. And probably one of the bigger wins for this team as they've formed. Ooh, we're looking at, is this an HE stack we got going on up top? No, just a set of mollies, a ton of them. It's a bar fight on the A site.
You guys have Molotovs and bar fights? What the hell are you doing? Captain Kirk, though, in the meanwhile, he's led into the flames. Hedrick's been traded away. The flashbang is not good enough. Captain Kirk gets a double Waro. Can't find anything either, and Demka's loneliness is killing me. And I can't believe Bait just take that one away. What a haul from Captain Kirk.
He's completely blind. Like, he actually did not see anything for 5 whole seconds, but he wasn't taken down, and then he turns up with 2. What was happening there? Did he just blend into his surroundings? Did he just go chameleon here? Look at this. Readjust for a sick double kill that just locks up the round. And Demka lost inside the smoke. Yes, Monte have enough to buy. But that could have been the lockup. One of the last purchases here for Bait, and look at this. Now they have all the weapons. They have all the leverage. They're going to start finally fighting for outside control, and Haji's going to lose his life.
Big loss early in. Bait are setting themselves up for success, but it all comes down to what Demka can find. Stiko in the meanwhile taking too much damage. Demka's moved past. He's looking to make a play. Stiko is downstairs, and they know it as well. Now he's watching out and waiting out for the same drop, but Demka in the meanwhile is still the hidden Viper in the midst of this A site. The problem is, what is this Viper even going to be striking out for? NPL catches it, snuffs it out, and Monte are going to be conceding map point to Bait unless Krasel and Stiko have the biggest play of their lives to make.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's really meant to be here for Krasnal. Captain Kirka just holding a massive off angle right there. That's a dink and a body shot. We are looking at map point for Bait instead. What could have been? Captain Kirka blind in the open. He finds the double. Bait in this one just put up a shutdown. Monte left to cobble together whatever they can to push this one forward. It's not a great day when last round of regulation all Demka's got is a deagle. So overtime, or we move to Ancient in this one. Final round of regulation. Bait keeping their heads in the tournament.
It's a fast outside play that's being planned out for Monte. They want to get control and fast. That's how they were able to win out 1 or 2 of these 3 versus 4s as well earlier on. Well, this might not be a 3 versus 4. Well, now it's a 4 versus 5. Not to mention, with Hedrick downstairs, you can't really actually find the full scale onto the site. War will trade once over, and Alex is smoked off. Now, Alex takes the fight before the smoke goes down. He gets himself one, and a 1-for-1 is more than advantageous over here. Crastle looking for a frag. Hedrick with a 5-7, though. Can do it with both.
A pocket AK, and then he pulls out the op to finish the job right there. Bait, they take a big risk. They go for a force buy. They lose it. They let their opponents get up to 11, but be a brawl down the B lane. It's going to be some fun.
Let's have that fun now, though, as we are heading into the map and saying goodbye to Pop. Pop, get out of here! I love it when you can't reply to us. It's the best. Oh, what's going on over here? Fast donut play being set up right now by Bait. They want to accelerate, but Warrow is here to intercept. But all he's intercepting so far is bullets. Maybe not the best of things to do, but the bomb's being planted. It's going down. Haji and Steeko trying to disrupt, but it's Steeko to come through with the quick frags. Now, as they try and retake back into Temple, that's where Warrow comes into play. He might have been low earlier on, but him and Steeko are putting on a show. Steeko shows off those silence headshots once again.
Dude, again, just pristine mechanics coming through here from Steeko. Coming through in that late round situation, 2 pristine headshots. That's all the pistol round's about, man. You know, you can be in a 2 versus 3. Numbers hardly matter. You just gotta connect the bullets, connect the dots. Even there, Monte were just on the back foot immediately off the rip. Warrow gooshed down. Players lost, but then Steeko steps up when necessary. I mean, you can just see here that the entry here from Alex is actually just perfectly clean. And even going back in towards Temple is a little bit awkward, but this is just the silencer. Quite literally, and in both ways. I like my double entendres here. It's 1-0 for Monte, and we've got the Gator out for Haji. Some people call it the noob tube.
The what? Huh? I have never heard either one of these two.
You've never heard those
being used for a Gator or noob tube? Neither one of these.
Wow. Well, they can be used interchangeably between titles. The XM. The Gator, that's for sure. I know the Gator for sure has been a terminology because it literally has a skin that.
Well, okay, it can have a skin, but can it actually have impact over here? Demka is going to be called to order with the farmers. What a controlled man this is. And little shots coming out from him. Beautiful stuff. Warrow's only good for the ones. The bomb can actually be planted. Essential going in for the deep plant so he can pick up the M4 as well in the process. Hides away from Donut as he does so. And now Haji will be able to pick up the Galil. Discards the alligator. And the question is, will he see Bait later or now?
Yeah, we'll have to see. But the thing is here for Monte is they actually don't have any kits. I think there might be one down on top of the bomb. We'll have to figure that one out later because, well, Crosnell's just going to be found trying to push in towards CT spawn. Flashbang through. Oh, both players are turned. Exceptionally close there, but Haji could not connect the spray. It is Bait to come through.
You're spraying.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Galil not necessarily known for its running accuracy.
Yeah, and I think also the problem inherently is just the fact that the kit, it might have been on top of
there was
the
a kid
bomb,
on
it
top
might
of
have
it.
not.
There was definitely a kid over here. Warrow had a kid when he died.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It'd be tough to find. It'd be its own little mini game, though.
Well, listen, despite the beautiful farmer spray from Demka, it's not enough to actually give them the triple, which when Warrow gets traded out quickly, is what they actually needed. Bait into it with one better than the pistol when they win the force buy, and everyone knows that that is the ideal scenario.
Surprisingly here, even with what little they have, Monte are able to put on a lot of pressure. We do have 2 smokes remaining, though, here for the side of bait. But they're quickly running out of flashbangs, even at the minute mark. And they're going to try and turn and burn back to middle. What do they want to do with this map control is the question. Seems like filing into Donut is the port of call. But then you do have this double setup. All 5 players in position here. Set up for the stack. Demka on the off angle will deliver on the MP9, but can't escape around the corner. And that stack will be disassembled. Crisis averted. With a clean headshot out of NPL.
NPL is one of the players to watch out for on Ancient. He is a dangerous, dangerous man. Can very often take control of this T side and really get aggressive on those individual peaks. And what is generally a more structured style of play out from Bait on other maps, on Ancient in particular, can sometimes feel like a, hey, make sure NPL's got his angles covered off and he'll just win the duel that's in front of him. And it works.
Like we got a little bit of a not live situation here right off the rip. But what I will say is that, yeah, like trying to set up NPL, I'm especially looking forward to the cave duels that are going to be happening on these gun rounds, because this is where both teams are really going to get brawly, and I think, honestly, that's where both these teams kind of thrive. I feel like when it gets into the unknown territory, you know, not necessarily the 5-on-5, everyone's got rifles and util, but when it gets scrappy, I think both of these teams actually thrive against the vast majority of their opponents.
Ah, yes. The fable not live.
We await the return of Alex.
Some would say he's been gone for the entire series, except for one round on Nuke. But those people will be very rude and not nice.
Yeah, the invincibility body armor, that kind of helped him there.
He did. In that one round, yeah, he did. I don't know if you would remember or have seen the VIP game mode of Counter-Strike. It was played in 1.6 a little bit. It was an interesting situation. The CTs had to escort a VIP. The VIP could only wield a pistol, but he had 200 HP and 200 armor. So the CTs have to escort the VIP to the end of the track or whatever the situation is. Felt like Alex was coming in that VIP skin as well. Back in the 1.6 days, sometimes you would think, oh, I've got that kill. I've headshot him. But then you realize you don't need just one. You need 2. It was actually one of the only places where AWP headshots were relevant. It was kind of cool. Of course, it wasn't really brought into effect. No one really cared about it because we were bad and this was not a legitimate game mode. But yeah.
Look, you're talking to a guy who was barely born until Source came out. So, you know, just to put that into perspective. 2004, and Source came out in August.
I feel like
2004.
VIP might have been in Source as well.
But you're suggesting that I knew about Source. Like I'd like to think I'm a pretty smart guy, right? You know, I think I spoke my first words when I was like maybe 2 years old or something like that. Look, I was a pretty smart cookie. I don't think I played Source.
Yeah, I didn't really play Source either. I played a fair bit of 1.6 though, once upon a time. Not to say that I played competitively, but
yeah,
it was the only thing that used to work on our school computers that you could copy paste in with the USB.
I see. Yeah. When was this for you guys over there? Because you're in Pakistan, correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was playing 1.6 as early as 2006, maybe. But that was more like just with cousins and the like and stuff like it. I was barely 9-10 years old at that point, but I in school was a lot more about like that 2010 mark or so, because the computers weren't good enough to run anything else, and also 1.6 was old school. So old school games, if you guys don't know, you could just actually copy paste them with a USB. Like, and they just worked. You didn't even need to necessarily sometimes transfer them from the USB. Just pop the USB in and it's like a CD for a PlayStation. You just play.
It's honestly a fun era, Counter-Strike. But the vast majority of the players here on Bait probably in the same boat as me. What is a Counter-Strike source? You may ask. Seiko certainly knows.
That's the engine, right? Edric isn't asking any of these questions, though. He is zoned in to true. Goal might not have been his era, stuck on an NIP that took their in pajamas a bit too seriously while he was on their team. They never really woke up.
I mean, he certainly found his stride on this team. Headtrick, I think, just getting a roster where I feel like he just has a bit more individual freedom. This is just a looser lineup than something like an NIP where he has to go through the bureaucracy of analysts, coaching staff, none of that. Bait, much simpler system all aboard. And honestly, with former teammates and people who speak his language, just more comfortable here for the side of Bait. Monte fully committed in towards middle. Bait making this pop out A. You can get away with this once every half, and they are going to get away with it. Essential with a double spray down. And a 3 versus 5 ensues. Wara will arrive to the scene, but I think that's all he's going to do here. He's just going to stand and watch while the fire burns.
Yeah, very nicely done from Bait over there. Of course, the faster airplay coming out. It's one of the things that, in fact, for a little while, funnily enough, teams were using to exploit complexity in, because a couple of these teams that are trying to get a little bit more focused on aggression down middle, you will end up having, you know, these faster A plays come into play and actually be very highly impactful. So, yeah, I doubt that Bait will be pulling it out too many times, but it is fun to see. If a team's got a read, they will just say, call it again, and again.
Cool. And steamrolled in that one as all the guns taken away as well. I don't know why Complexity needed to catch a shot like that, but
I saw a shot. It's just one of those things that they experienced and then they adapted and overcame because they've got some great leadership in there.
Sure. Way to
now
turn
you're
it
just
into
confused
something
about
wholesome. Yeah. Way to turn it wholesome there, buddy. I see right through you. I know who you are. I know who I am. I know this. All right. Nice try. We got the Deagles out. Oh boy. Oh, this is Don't you love Cave? Isn't this like one of the most fun parts of the map to fight on?
I don't know what you're talking about, but he's got Deagle headshot through the wall. That's great. I love it.
So did a Sentinel as well.
Yeah, some good damage being found so far by Monte. Can actually pair it up into kills, though. Another late round hit onto the A side. Bait know what their favorites are, and right now it is the first letter of the alphabet.
Yeah, you do have Wara, though, around the edge of the smoke here, actually. Oh, but just can't hit the thread line. Neither can Stiko in this one. And there's a team kill, which honestly is not all that great. That's going to cost Hadji a couple grenades, look a little bit silly in the top right, and give Bait 5 rounds.
We're not going to see an AWP being pulled out from Wara over here either. This is not the best situation for Monte. Wara, of course, on the AWP. Ancient's an interesting map for AWPing on the CT side, right? Because very often you want to just have your AWPer just be positioned away on the A side, covering off anyone who might be coming in from main, especially against a team like Bait that have made that a priority so far. But Wara's not that kind of player. He's a more active player who wants to make a play all across the server. So it's not the worst thing to not have him on the AWP. Stiko, though, in middle, will need help very soon. He's about to be cleared out. They do it haphazardly, but NPL still is able to recover in time. Re-smoke back out, and Wara will be disabled from providing support. Essential is able to find Demka as well, and this A site is once again open for business.
I mean, Demka is by far and away one of the best A-site anchors in all of Counter-Strike right now, not even just in this realm, and he just got bodied instantly by Essential. I mean, that is a sign of the times right now here for Monte on this map. they're gonna have to back away again. And the way Bait have been playing, like Alex is walking up B ramp. Woro is just dead instantly. But Alex is already here on the off angle. Fortunately, Haji does readjust. But these rounds are just brutal. These rounds, you know, it's starting to feel like Inferno, where 2 kills just end the round because the rotates are so far apart right now. Monte unable to tie together the map. Like, it's its own issue right now that Monte are missing some of their key characteristics as a team. I think one of the biggest parts is that they're so fast and committed onto their rotates. But the thing is that these rounds are just blowouts. Look at that. Just the laser beam out of the Sential on the headshot angle. And there's nothing you can do when the kills come in that quick. And big reasoning is a lack of information across the map to be able to scramble those rotates. And I'm sure that's why Monte have a little bit to discuss.
Is that a double tactical?
I guess it is. Really needing some time to mull it over.
Yeah. I think one of the decisions that you also have to figure out is that how do we prioritize our buying patterns in the next few rounds, right? Do we force buy over here and try and turn it around? Or do we prioritize war as AWP? Do we maybe go for a heavier stack out towards an A and mid? That's very unconventional. 2-2-1 setup is incredibly unconventional. It's also very hard to pull off because very often you will just be forced into a position where you have to get aggressive out into the A players as well. So even if it's going to be an A side hit from the T's, you can just lose your early duel and lose the round immediately. Bait will also have to consider, do we maybe try and make this a B-sided play? Right? Is this way we change things up? Is this way we pull it all out together? This is the mind games of CS when those timeouts come through. And right now it is going to be pretty standardized. The only difference is an aggressive play out towards the A side and a half buy right now for Monte. They've left enough from the coffers to purchase up in the next round, but again, not to actually purchase the up.
Oh, this is going to be fun, though. Push down B ramp. And, well, Headtrick does spot out a couple. That's going to lead a Sential to charge back in for the kill, and Headtrick even completes the pick onto Woro 2K trying to fall back.
They know there's another player over here on this B-bomb side, and he's likely alone. Isolating him would be a great call, but they need to accelerate if that's going to be it. Demka and Stiko are starting to make their way over.
Oh boy.
Krastel will need to get aggressive. He knows it as well. The bomb is far off. Don't forget that. Headtrick is on the other side. And Stiko's covering off the back, but can't find the kill. Krastel's all alone, and in his loneliness, he will fall.
Yeah, that's actually wild right there. Oh, but hold on, Demka. Demka, is he up for anything? Well, he certainly, if he hit the headshot, it would have been cool. I think Alex would have had the trade either way. But Bait, that could have gotten risky. They didn't have a single smoke for the cross. Imagine if Demka gets into CT spawn a few seconds earlier. You can have massive impact there as he's grouped up with all of his teammates, and Bait could be in some trouble. But instead, they've won 7 rounds in a row now, and currently all their players probably have enough money to buy for the rest of the half. They're all above 10 grand after the purchase, which is just straight up ridiculous. While Monte are just fighting with scraps. They're still in MP9s, missing head Kevlar, no kits. The rich only get richer, it seems, as we move into the 4-on-4.
Headtrick's been a dangerous man so far on the outside of B in this lurk, but right now in the cave is Stiko, and Stiko is going to be moving outside of that smoke. Essential. Not keeping an eye out on the clock, not ready for that smoke to actually whiff away, and now only Woro left. The Molotov will prevent him from aggressing for now, but it's down to Haji. Rather, not Haji, Headtrick, as Haji himself is down. Headtrick's going to be able to rotate away, but he's made noise as well. He is not really fully expecting the flank to come through, but Moro's got plenty of time to tell him exactly what's coming his way. Monte are... They are really going to need to bring this together to a fifth, right? You see over here, it's a lot of very chaotic fights outside of B. Bait have not been making this a priority to try and fight into B lane early on, more often than not, right? It's an A-sided focus or a late B retake. It feels like they did just fall into Monte's plans for now, and that cannot be what you're relying on to win another 3 in a row.
Yeah, 100% on that one. Oh boy, but head trick. Trying to hang out in the molly. Stiko's got a big swing. And we'll actually just drop the op in the straight head-to-head. Now, question here. Will they continue to advance? Double setup. They're going to break it up to go for the aggression. Nearly a lineup there for Stiko. He's not going to stick around again. Just wants to wait for his teammates, and then he doubles up. That's more like it here from Monte. Maintaining the control. Demka doesn't go down. Alex will go back and spawn to pick up the bomb. I think he's just about to meet his maker here. Krasnal just going to hold the most unclearable corner in Counter-Strike. I'm ready to set it up to where Alex hard clears it, but...
Very nicely done from Stiko there, really. That round was all of him. Some great comms coming up from him after he gets that first kill as well. Just making sure he's managing team utility very effectively. And not to mention the deep flashbang that he then asked for Haji to take the peek out from above. That is all Stiko over there. First kill, I'm surprised that Hedrick doesn't actually find it. He's been sharp so far, even if it hasn't been with the AWP. He was waiting inside that Molotov for that exact play to be made by Stiko, and what looked like it would pay fruit instead pays poison.
Yeah, Stiko definitely putting in the work. Now, he's going to have to continue it, but he eats a gush. He should be dead, realistically. But saved by the door. Now splitting into the A site. 2 players here towards this A main setup. Woro, you could say he's out of position, but, well, now he certainly is. He misses the shot critically here. And now Demka, he also falters. Everyone goes down without basically a kill. The execution just missing here for Monte.
Stiko and Algie now come into play and see if they can probe into the site. They will be struggling to buy if they don't save here, but they also know they'll be struggling to win if they don't save the round here. Back to a 2-on-2. There is a kit available for Haji. Haji's not have the best of games so far. He's 1-9. If there's ever a chance to find redemption, this would be it. A smoke down on the bomb. A flash in the face of Alex. And now only NPL left. The bomb defuse being stuck as well. Nate to open it up. And he will get the sideline. But before that happens, Monte win the round out. There's actually a very interesting setup coming out on the A side of their 5. Woro wasn't quite out of position. Him and Demka were relying on that red room rotate from Stiko to come into play as well as a second player. So they would have had a 4-man crunch pretty much on that A side. But Woro just missing the shot out. Demka doing the same. And it didn't feel like Monte would have had a chance there. And that's where Haji and Stiko come into play.
Again, just some big individual moments turning up again for Monte. And also just some good coordination on the flash. Now Woro. And really Monte just dominating this mid control. Non-stop opening picks rolling out. And Bait, I think now that they're down a player, they just feel the need to commit to something. Defaulting feels extremely awkward, weak. But almost picking up the kill back on Woro. Got to be careful where you stand. But the boosted angle from Hedrick, not enough to take down Krasnal, who just swings for another. Ridiculous aggression. I guess it pays off here. We're looking at 7-5, but dodges the flash. and spins for the headshot. MPL keeps his team in the round.
Very nicely done from Krastel there. The off angle is just completely unexpected from Hedrick. I wonder if he did actually hear the scope as well and assume that it's going to be a boosted player. Because he was right outside of the boundaries of that scope, if I'm not wrong. Bait, though, now wait for a mistake. Captain Kurt has to be the one to make a move realistically, unless NPL can get the long-range sightline onto Demka on the jiggle. Of course, that is a real possibility, but Waro, he himself is also low, so if Demka goes down, he suddenly becomes a much more doable 2v3. Smoke is down. Captain Kurt to take the lead. Finds a first. Demka away. Waro confused about where to look, and the bomb can be planted. Stiko has to save the day once again.
A split sight take right there. Captain Kirk gonna set himself up for the clutch. Now the question is, where does he rotate? He's just gonna play this one out from the B ramp, playing on the off angle. He says it is what it is. If he comes up B, and he's making the right call. He's even spinning around. He's aware of cave. Deco out on the site. Shoulder spotted, and Captain Kirka will come up clutch here for bait in an awkward situation. A 2 versus 4. Krasnell going off as well on the B site, but that's not enough to stop the dynamic duo.
Krasnell's trying to push the angle in the 4-on-2, but there isn't really a mistake, but NPL just plays that perfectly, dodging the flashbang, and initially Krasnell thought he was going to be A-okay, but NPL must have heard the flashbang being pulled or something like it, or just really good expectations.
I think he just saw it. I think he was just so fast on the turn.
True.
Yeah, it looked like, I don't think the flashbang was necessarily like picture perfect. It extended a little further out, and
right every time as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and MPL is just, I would say, sick with the sticks.
Is your drummer?
I'm thinking about, like, the joysticks, you know, of the...
Right,
like,
okay, fair enough. You can see why I wouldn't go to that assumption in Counter-Strike 2, right? Like, yeah.
I mean, it could be with any kind of sticks. Like, when you say hand someone the sticks, it could be the drum, it could be the flight sticks. It could be anything for like a bow.
All right.
Personally,
flight sticks for an IGL makes sense, but yeah. Let's find out whether Bait can drum up some madness on the CT side. Continue on that momentum. 8-4 is a pretty good-looking half. Monte have to do one better if they want to close it out in regulation.
to see here, but MPL, those dual Berettas. Oh, are they actually going to lure him in? Well, it works out for one, but Captain Kirka will actually get traded. Scratching his head, and now Stiko. Oh boy, that wasn't clean, but not going to whiff twice on Alex. Surely, right? Jiggle peek there from Waro.
Come on.
Not even needed, though. Essential gets ran over.
In the end, it is just all calm and easy for Monte. It's a nice idea, nice setup going into the donut, but it's interesting the fact that the dualies are trying to bait in for the USPs in a close range angle. USP is actually quite good on players trying to wrap around and hug the corner of the wall, but not really anything beyond that. So maybe some criticism to be levied there, but they get their 2 kills. Afterwards, Monte is just good on resetting.
Yeah, we're going to be in for a close game down the stretch, I feel like. Because the money is just going to be in tatters for the CT side to lead off this half. Especially with this full eco. Weirdly enough, I'm kind of down for the force buy here out of bait. I do want to see an AWP come into play for their first gun round. You can do that if you go for the force. I mean, first things first, you could just potentially win the round, but also set up your economy in that 4th round. You do let your opponents catch up to you, yes, but this definitely gives you a better chance than this. And an AWP. We got USPs on the ramp. And 1 P250.
But don't forget those.
That's what I do when I'm trying to get a cat over here.
Exactly, that's exactly what I think every time. You look like a silent enjoyer. I will tempt you with it.
Works on every single CT ever. You see, look at this. He's Krasnal giving him the call. It's like, yes, my ecos, thank you. Therapeutic here for Krasnal.
She's getting that kitty therapy. That's what's going on there. Woro is scared of felines, and that's because they have sharp claws. Captain Kurt scratches his eyes out. And actually picks up enough money to be able to drop an AWP for Headtrick as well. An op that we actually didn't really see Monte ever coming through with on Woro in the first half. So maybe we can see some CT side opping being showcased.
Ooh, Woro and getting caught out on eco hunts when it's not even necessary. I think he's like 0 for 4 on that this series. Don't worry, his teammates has got his back, so it's not that big a deal. We do see the op actually come out for Headtrick anyways because of the knife kill. Shoutouts to Captain Kirka. So there is an op in play, and that presence certainly disrespected. Demka goes down with ease. Now Molly, that's not really gonna keep him at bay too much. Hard to see through the flames, but as they dissipate, he's back again, and he's not gonna miss. Bait finding themselves in a 2 versus 5 advantage. Surely this is where they stamp down, right? Well, Stiko out in the open. He does find a headshot back. Puts it up to Woro in a 1-on-3.
Alex and NPL are low. You can try and quickly make this work. You're the one who put yourself in a position where Bait can do you like that, because the AWP, you would have had to be the one to bail them out. Woro unable to do so, and it is going to be 3 alive for Bait. They keep the op forward as well. A fantastic round from a Headtrick showing us exactly what the dangers of that A site are. And I'm actually surprised that Monte called out for the fast A site hit and commitment like that. One of the weaknesses that it does have is if there's already an op inside Temple, and given the fact that there was that knife out up against Woro and everything as well. Maybe they're just hoping that the op will be positioned elsewhere on the map.
I mean, fair enough there. A bit of a risky gamble to be taking. Even if you do know that the AWP is on the map. Well, now Headtrick's op is in the server. Good to see him landing a couple of shots, but in the meantime, Essential doing his darndest to try and lure on over these T's into B. Oh, okay. If he has his knife out again in a corner, I'm like, surely not, right?
It's good, but you need a Molotov to try and clear that man out of the angle. Captain Kurtka is also threatening backup. Monte, time's running out. And with the smoke out towards the mouth of cave, or maybe the B house, Bait are reconsidering their commitment to this B site. Now that reconsideration could come back to bite them. Stiko and company want to make a move, but the flashbangs are not landing. Essential stays away from them, will be able to break first blood, but Stiko trays, and in goes Woro. Captain Kurtka found out as well. Alex unable to find a kill with the spam through. The M4A1 might be good at that exact thing, but now actually damage is great. 2 players left on single bullet range, but it is unconfirmed damage, so Bait don't want to try and commit to it.
Honestly, I think it's fair enough. We really are just going to go down the stretch here. Everyone's got to deliver their kills and hold their weight. And especially with Captain Kurka getting picked on the backlines, that is absolutely massive. That extra player to spam those smokes, Woro and Stiko could become casualties instead of standing defenders. And that round radically shifts. So Captain Kurka eats an op headshot trying to fly in for the rotates. It's just a true difference maker and a big what if in that round. The Captain Kirk stays on his feet. Alex did his work. Sentinel did his work. Now it's 9-7.
It's NPL, and it's time for him to make a play. Right down middle he goes, and he is all the way up the lane. No contest here whatsoever. Essential good for some damage, but NPL is a real man in the mix. But the problem is Essential is also coming through with a little bit of firepower. NPL and Essential find themselves 5-on-3. Meanwhile, Monte still off in the winds, waiting for a play to be made in middle. But Captain Kurt is here to deny these kills.
Oh. Now Demka will deal with the captain. Oh my goodness, the pace on these rounds are just absolutely insane. That's what I was talking about going into this map, is just these two teams play a similar brand of Counter-Strike. They both want to brawl. And when both teams select the B lane to do their battle, boy, does it get fun. 1 versus 3 here for Demka. Oh, here's the jump spots. Demka knows he just nailed the timing right now.
Problem is he still needs to find a kill. A flank into Red Room is realistically the only possibility unless he wants to go for the full Raptor tempo, and that is a difficult play to justify. He knows what's going on in Red Room, but even if he gets a frag here, running back to the A site is not going to be easy. Now it's all about this smoke. Molotov as well, making sure that he can try and plant inside of it, but well, Hedrick's got himself a grenade, and now pops it open. If Demka had his gun out, could have maybe had a chance to get an instant headshot, but trying to jump away from the nade is just a fool's game.
Yeah, that's really smart there from Hedrick. Not going to just like reveal his position by firing up op shots. Actually clearing the smoke at Demka, just toast on impact. I was thinking that the full-on flank from Dona into CT to kind of dance around that Red Room player and try to hit the trigger discipline. But I believe... I mean, Demka gave it a good shot. I'll give him that, especially with the Sentinel moving from that jump spotting position. I'll have to hold on to the thoughts. We've just got actually a B ramp walk coming through. Flashbang, though, goes high. And Alex holds the line for 1. He sees extra flashbangs to rain on in, but not quite the double. Haji still stands. 4 on 4. And the Sentinel just trying to get activated here. 8 off the mark 2, but then Hedrick does connect. And with Haji low, this feels pretty untenable.
Monte are trapped in. They want to try and find a little bit more space, but the problem is NPL that comes in from behind now trades a 1-for-1, and that's just not good enough. Hedrick knows it's all about the USP, and it is us best, baby. Bait. Continue to take it away.
Oh, man. This is, again, just raw firepower showing through here for Bait, as Hedrick is now having his turn to have a bit of a pop-off performance. I like the hold from Alex as well, just kind of stalling out, still playing his life to an excellent degree, and that allows Hedrick to slide into position and get himself into the shooting gallery here. Monte as a team, they kind of ran it with the dry run. They needed to get the kills faster before those rotates did arrive. Once they do, Hedrick's able to pop a couple. So, 6 stuff. And they're going to try and keep up the tempo, trying to blast on pass. A Sentinel forced back.
What are you going to try and do with this sheet of control now that you've been given it? That is the question for Monte. Let's not forget this purchase is meant to win the round, not just try and sway it in your favor. A bomb plant is mandatory. A round win, frankly speaking, might as well be as well. Monte have only won 2 rounds so far, and both of those are off the pistol. On the second half at least.
All comes down to Sentinel over here. They do not have another smoke to try and cut him off, but they've got a beautiful deagle held by Demka. Quick little Molotov, but it will be a bit delayed. There's only damage found. The flash isn't good enough either. And Stiko is overrunning, but Alex and Hedrick get it all together. Hedrick with a double nade, and Monte might find bare minimum, but it's not going to be enough. 12th now for Bait.
Oh my goodness, that combination, literally 4 players go up and line themselves up for Alex with the nade as well. That is ridiculous timing. The combination as well coming through from Bait. I thought it might have been done. I thought Monte had found the key back into the game, but nothing gives. And we have to run it back. Monte, pots and pans. And what is potentially their final round here in EU5. The chance to call this roster a success in the start of the season.
Wow. Bait look like they're going to be locking in for the finals early.
It's looking like it. I don't doubt these players. We've seen so much from them already, but when you lose Demka in early fashion, and just to be frank, you're dead out of utility. You've got to dry fight everything, and that just feels awful.
I mean, Hanchi unfortunately has also had a stinker of a game. Well, if there was ever a time to start punishing, maybe this would be... No, never mind.
Not quite. The final spot looking guaranteed here for the side of Bait, as Monte will face down elimination. It's just Krasnal stepping forward. All it takes is a swing and a P250 headshot out of head trick. Bait are going to be your first grand finalists here in EU5.